Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, the Friday afternoon Zoom edition. Bitcoin disappointed us this week by closing the week below, or closing the month below 20K. It's hovering in the 19s at the moment. And I'm kind of at a crossroads on how to trade here. Do I go with trend trading or dip trading? I'm not sure if this is the floor. So we'll talk about that. Let's go to the Bitcoin chart first. Okay, you should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
We are.
Yep.
All right, so I lowered the line from 20,200 to 20,000, not a big move. We did dip below that yesterday and pumped back over it last night, but dipped again below it. And now we're at 19.3. So that's disappointing that we didn't break through 20K. Now I'm concerned that 20K that used to be support could now be resistance. And most of the trades I've looked for this week have been shorts, just since that's the general trend. Most of us start with spot trading. We were talking about that earlier, so you can't really spot trade a short. So with that in mind, I've been using some really low leverage on my shorts so I can stay in them longer in case they go against me. Ladder buying and holding. So I'm using 2% leverage on an ADA trade right now. It was in profit this morning. I actually haven't looked at it. I've been busy today, but so that's a little bit of a new approach for me. I think the lowest leverage I'd used before was 5% or 5x. But if the overall market's trending down, I think it's good to have a couple shorts going to take advantage of that. So we're going to be looking at trend trading and dip trading today. You choose the approach you want to use. It might be kind of confusing, but I don't feel that in good conscience I can just talk about dip trades when the markets just keeps stair stepping down. So again, on Bitcoin, we're hanging around 19.3, 19.4. The news, there's something I thought that was interesting. Yeah. There's been some controversy regarding Tether, USDT, our favorite trading pair. And this article here talks about how, a couple funds have made a run at it to try to short it, and each time it's bounced back. And it goes in detail over some of the reserves that it has. I'm generally cautiously optimistic about USDT holding its peg after the UST debacle back in May, but I know some people are concerned about it. It's still the #1 trading stablecoin by far. So, it's something we need to think about as day traders, and well, any kind of a stablecoin trader, that that this asset is not perfect, but it seems to be really good. Any comments about the market overall, or Bitcoin or USDT?
Well, I here recently looked at a couple of YouTubers that have seemed to have done some research on Tether and where it's come from, who created it, the lack of transparency, the lawsuit the New York State had against it, and New York State forced them to disclose what their assets were. Their idea of a audit is an accountant in the Cayman Islands, that gives a report.
Okay.
So they've done a lot of shady stuff. It kind of scares me, and I don't. It's like US. What is the other one?
UST?
USDC.
USDC seems to be more stable, more transparent, but I don't know. I mean, Kevin must know this. I know this isn't the carbon portion, but
yeah,
he must know about the history, but I don't. And he's talked about possibly doing DC, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's frustrating. There just isn't enough volume on USDC pairs
Oh, okay.
to trade, consistently. Craig, you were going to say something?
Yeah, it's similar to what you were saying. It's not just volume. There's not enough pairs to trade either.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that many available.
Yep.
Kevin did mention it in his huddle. He's quite confident that it's going to hang in there, and the main reason is that, apart from what you've already said about that it is actually quite a stable coin, is that the platforms would be ruined if it failed.
Yeah.
And so the platforms are going to all come in and probably help support it if that becomes an issue.
Yeah, the exchanges would be wrecked if that happened. So it's in their best interest to keep US Tether as stable as possible. Anyway, I've highlighted what they say their reserves are, which, aren't perfect, but look reasonable to me. But I'm not an accountant or anything, and you got to bear in mind the YouTubers. I mean, I post my videos on YouTube. YouTubers are, for the most part, provocateurs. They need to get your attention. That's why you'll see, Bitcoin going to the moon, or Bitcoin dropping in, Tether imploding. You'll see headlines like that, and because they have to get your attention through all the noise. So.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I like the one guy that his name's CoffeeZilla. He did a really good one about a year ago, and he actually went through with some guy that's, he kind of does some actual reporting, legitimate reporting from what I've watched on him. And he went to a guy that went in detail of every single founder and board member, where they came from, what they've done. He went into some pretty good detail about Tether.
And maybe Tether had some shady beginnings, and maybe it's not, as up to speed as it should be, but it's the best we got so far.
Yeah.
So that's about the gist
Well,
of
I
it.
mean, it survived $10 billion.
Yeah.
Withdrawal. I mean,
Yeah.
so it
US
found some
people
money
went after
somewhere.
it. People went after it after the UST. It dropped down to 93, 94 cents, but it bounced back. And I checked it yesterday. It was over $1. So against there's a new on Bybit USDT USDC. You can leverage that, and I wonder if that's pushed it above $1 now. So that's interesting to me. Okay, we didn't talk about Ethereum yet. It's we've had this line at right around $1,000. Well, I think I had it at 1,050. I dropped it down to 1,000. It stayed over 1,000 the last couple of days. Did dip briefly. I don't know if it wicked down below 1,000 a couple days ago or not, but I'm on the 4-hour chart. It's hanging in there, but ETH tends to follow Bitcoin, and most of the alts tend to follow Ethereum. So we'll see how that plays out over the weekend. Wouldn't surprise me if we had a dip down in. Let's see, I was going to look at Bitcoin last weekend. I think we dipped below. Yeah, we dipped below 20,000 for the first time, or the second time. So, yeah, I don't know. I usually like to short something over the weekend, but since I'm already in one, I'm not sure if I'll do another. Okay, Oliver's reporting USDT is at 0.99875. That's usually what it is. But I just thought it was interesting that when I looked at it a day or two ago, it was over $1. But thanks for that update. Okay, any questions on the overall market before we move to Altcoin Alert? Try to find some trades. Okay. Let's see what we can find. All right, I've got the altcoin radar set up. I'm sorting by AA score at the moment. And I'm looking for scores, usually 80 and above, the very bullish ones. I don't have any, 0. Due to market conditions, there's nothing very bullish to list. So ordinarily at that point, I would go to my long-term sentiment sort, and the long-term sentiments, the word on the street. What are people talking about? What's on Twitter? And then I match that up with my Elder Impulse, which is a technical indicator, MACD, momentum, that kind of thing. But I don't have any matches here. So I'm going to sort by Elder Impulse. And there's very few that are bullish at the moment. And the only one, well, this one caught my eye, Numeraire, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, NMR. And there was some talk on the CryptNation call yesterday about this. Maybe it was Tuesday on the Altcoin Alert call, but this is one of the few that's bullish on the daily, Elder Impulse, and the long-term sentiment. It had a big move a day or two ago. It's dropped 16% today. So I've got my dip trading setup and my trend trading setup. We'll look at both of them for NMR. So let's start with the day chart. This one was trading close to $60 last year in September. Lost 86% and gained a lot of it back this week. I tried to find some news on this. I wasn't able to find any. I didn't look that hard, but when I see something like this, I think, some whale fell asleep at the computer with NMR on the screen and, made a giant buy on a market buy, but who knows? On a couple days ago, this was 878, went up to $40. Oh, almost 400%. Then dropped over half of that. Went up again, dropped again. I don't know if it has another pump left in it. So this one I think is really risky. Go to the 5-minute chart. Looks like it's could be going through a dip sequence. It's got it's starting to bubble out a little bit here. Though it looks kind of squeezy, that's actually 10% between the Bollinger Bands. So that's a really nice area for movement. Got 1, 2, we're working on a third dip now. So this might be something you want to look at for a 1, 2, 3 dip. We do have a money factor index dip below the 20 on the 5-minute chart, starting to curve back. The RSI is the same. I like to see this value in a 15-minute chart as opposed to a 5. We'll look at that in a minute. So if you caught it down here, if you want to set a price alert to maybe get in on this, maybe just under $20 or 19, say 1980, 1970. Yeah, maybe here. If you caught that, goes up to the SMA line, 7%. That's a really good day trade. Can someone check to see if this is available on leverage? I forgot to do that. I meant to do it, and I turned off my Bybit account and my VPN for this. So
I'm pretty sure I had a look during the call, and it wasn't on Bybit.
Okay. All right, because I was going to talk about shorting this on a trend trade, but for now, if you want to go long on this, if you think it's coming back, we got the RSI going towards the bottom of its range, and I like those alerts that dip below the 30 and come back. On the MFI, if they dip below the 20 and come back, those are good too. We've also got some pretty good support between $12.50 and $13. So you could set a price alert here in that range. That's where it was before it took this big move up. It actually had 3, after the big pump, it had 2 pretty good ones after, but we do have lower highs here. So if it does go up again, I wouldn't expect it to go, above 30, but can't say any of this for sure. So on this one, I think I'd go with the RSI alert. right click here, crossing up 30. And I like to put once per bar close. And then I like to put whatever information source I received this from. So this is an elder impulse search or sort. So that would be my alert. So for those of you, like to spot trade, this might be one to consider. So that's the dip trade approach. The trend trade approach, we haven't talked about this in a few weeks. This is my chandelier exit trend trade approach. I've got the Bjorkum superscript as well for confirmation and a few other indicators. I got this volume average indicator and then the RSI and the MFI that I like quite a bit. So if I could short this, I'd be more inclined to do that on a trend trade, because yeah, this most recent buy signal from the chandelier didn't do very well. It really wasn't confirmed by anything anyway. So this buy signal goes up, the RSI is below its its moving average. The volume is still in the red and the MFI is pointing down when the signal goes off. So, that really wasn't supported. I would have ignored that one. Sometimes I'll do a confirmation alert when I don't have confirmation. Maybe I would put an alert on this SMA line of the RSI to have it push through, or to have this volume turn positive. Those are all options available if you want to do a confirmation alert after your first alert. Okay, any questions on me showing you two different approaches on one token? Craig, you think I'm dumping too much on these nice people? It's okay
Well,
if you
it'll
do.
be over the head of some people, but then other people will probably really value it. So if it's over the head of some people, they'll recognize that and just stick with what they know.
Yeah, I will tell you that trend trading, especially with an alert friendly indicator like the chandelier exit, is pretty easy. At least to get those, you put your alert up here, CE buy or CE direction change or CE sell. I mean, those are easy. I usually do your once per bar close. You don't want it to repaint. So that's how I like to do my alerts. And then when they go off, I'll check them against my other indicators. Like we just talked about, this buy one wasn't supported by the others, so I wouldn't have taken it. But the sell one, looks really good because we've got, a dip below the moving average on the RSI, plus the RSI is generally trending down. We've got the volume just changing from green to red, and MFI trending down pretty hard. So this is a really good setup. And the down goes down over 20%. So these are the shorts we like to get. Okay.
CJ, what exchange or brokerage you recommend we trade on?
Well, if I lived in where you guys live, I would trade on Binance.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get my self-managed super fund set up. It's been months and I still can't get validation. It's just driving me crazy.
That would be annoying. Okay, super fund. So is that an unusually large account? Or is that too personal to ask you?
Yeah, and yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say just do a normal, a smaller account that isn't going to raise flags and get started. And then try to get that going later.
It's tax effective for me. That's the reason you use it. Yeah.
Okay, understood. Just when I traded on it, I like it a lot when I traded on it. So
personally, I liked Binance, Bybit better than Binance, because I was unable to do some of the things in Binance that I was in Bybit, like auto margin adjust and some of the leverage changes. I'm sure you can do them, but I found them quite difficult compared to Bybit.
yeah,
Greg, thank you.
I'm guilty of an apples and oranges comparison here because I traded spot on Binance and liked it a lot, and didn't really get into leverage until maybe for a couple months on Binance, and I got kicked. Then they required KYC, which I couldn't pass in the US. So I will probably alter my statement to say Bybit for leverage and Binance for spot. So
the reporting on and the information you get from Binance is really awesome.
That's
you can't fault it. That was just amazing. I really missed that.
Yeah, because Bybit's terrible at that. You have to do the coins individually unless it's changed recently. But
you can export it. That's the best way.
Yeah.
Get all
Okay.
the
All right. And then other exchanges, I like KuCoin for spot as well. Plus, a lot of coins get listed there before they get listed on some of the larger ones like Coinbase Pro or Binance. And Coinbase Pro is okay for. I cash out using that. I'll send something from Bybit to Coinbase Pro, sell it right away, and then cash it out through Coinbase. So that's how I do it. But those are the most. I've tinkered with a few others like CoinMetro and Kraken and some of those, hit BTC, FTX. I liked FTX a lot, and they required KYC. So I can't trade on that anymore, though there is a US option, but I haven't checked it out yet. Okay, well, any other questions on this trade, or I think we covered the exchanges question pretty well.
Yeah, we did. Thanks.
All right, let's go to Altcoin Alert, see if we can find something else for this weekend. Since I think a lot of us do trade on leverage, let's look for a stinker. What's going to plummet? Okay, so bearish tokens, I like to see them in the teens, preferably. We don't have any that low. And then it has to be something I know that can be shorted. Mask would qualify. Not sure about Keep. I think that would as well. Let's check it out. No, Keep's not on a leverage that I see here. All right, what was the other one? Mask. All right, it's on Bybit and Binance. Look at the Binance chart.
Did you say Keep wasn't on leverage?
I didn't see it on my Bybit list on TradingView, but I could have swore I saw that in Carbon at one point. But
yeah, I've traded Keep.
Okay, let me try it again. Yeah, you see the list here. Bybit's not listed here. So
Try putting a P on the end of that. USD P.
Yeah, it's on. Oh, it's on BitGet.
No.
That's close enough.
I'm sure it's on. I'll look it up on Bybit.
Okay.
I'm sure it's there because I've traded it, and I only trade on Bybit these days.
I'm pretty sure I have as well. I'm not sure why it's not on TradingView. So, but anyway, it is on BitGet, which is another one I've used. I just got an account a little while ago. I haven't done much with it. So with that in mind, let's just go to the.
No, it's not. So maybe it's been delisted.
Oh yeah. Well, in that case, we don't want to look at it. So we'll go back to Mask. Binance and Bybit. So we'll look at the Binance chart. Oh, I'm on it. Okay, day chart. Okay, its big move was in November, over $22, and gave up over 90%. That one's really been bludgeoned. Trending up though, last couple days. Well, last week actually. Big move here, up 40%. Went up again, 30%. Getting lower highs though. On the 5 minute. Wow, that's really squeezy. Had this pump sequence and then drop and then just sideways. And between our Bollinger Bands, we have, you know, less than 3%. So that's hard to deal with on the 5 minute chart. Hanging around the SMA line, not a good place to enter. Some short-term support. Well, actually, I need to get in short mode here. So used to talking about long positions. This is one we're considering shorting. So we have resistance, I'd say in this vicinity, right around $1.72. That would be a place for a price alert. Ideally, it would go above that and then, or it would, you know, hit that and bounce down. So that would be a good place to start. We could go to our 15-minute chart. We didn't look at divergence for the last one. Put my divergence on. And it's kind of hard to back test this because these will move as the position. If you get a couple of the same color candles in a row, it will move. So got to keep that in mind, that these aren't perfect representations of where these divergence entries would have been. But regardless, assuming, you know, for our purposes, they are, you know, we had a good one here. You know, that one dropped 2.8%. You'd be on leverage, you know, 2x, 5x, 10x, something like that. Yeah, it's a really good day trade. You know, this one not as good. Down about 1.5%. Not bad. This one didn't work really well at all. This one did pretty well. This one might have ladder bought. Yeah, well, 1.7, not bad. So divergence could be useful for a short, for a good entry position. We can do our MFI or our RSI to the opposite. Like here, we had a break above the MFI and then a drop. Same for the RSI. So either alert would have worked. It drops below the 80 at this point, right about here. So entry on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, it's a really good move down, you know, 7% in 5 hours. So that's a really good day trade. And that's really the only one I see that moves above. See, this one kind of got close. It's at 72. So let's say if it drops below 70 or 75, you could get in right in this vicinity. It'd go against you at first, but then drop. You know, there's your 2%. You miss that drop, then there's another one down to about 2% again. So those would be pretty good day trades on leverage. And real quick, how do you do that kind of alert? Right click on the MFI, crossing down. Usually it's the 80, but a couple of these went into the 70s and came back down. So maybe do 75 once per bar close, and put the AA score. Actually, I think I'm going to put this alert in. AA, what was it? Mask 39.3. And there's my alert. Okay, any questions on, oh, Ashley, we should look at the trend trade as well. Okay, we just had a sell print just before this started. And we had one candle in our favor and then a couple went up. So I'm not sure if I'd want to get in this one yet. What I will do sometimes on these when I just miss it and I don't see a move in the direction I want to go is I'll just set another alert. I'll let it go through kind of this sequence here. Sell, then another buy, then another sell. So right click on here. AA 39.3, I think it was. All right, so I've got two alerts on mask, one based on the trend and one based on instead of a dip, a pump coming down from a pump. And again, you want to on the trend trade, you want to confirm with your other indicators. These are the ones I like to use, but you can use any kind of volume-based indicator. I've used the RSI pretty much since I started, and then the MFI in the last probably year and a half. And they've been pretty good for confirmation. So, okay, any questions on mask?
Oh,
Very well, let's do one more and then we'll wrap it up. So far we've just looked at AA scores. We did do one elder impulse sort. Let's do a 24-hour change sort. So these are the ones that have pumped. And if we're looking for shorts, we could see, look at some of these as potentially due for a pullback. Kind of went into shorts in some detail with the mask trade. So let's look at something that's been beaten down that might be due for a comeback. Terra Luna seems to be up here all the time. The new mare we just looked at a little while ago. IMX. Let's look at that one. Interesting. I don't see it on Binance, but it's on Bybit and Coinbase. Look at the Coinbase chart. Okay, just turn off divergence for the moment. Day chart. All right, this was listed in December. It's gone straight down since. I think the CryptNation guys like this one, if I remember right. Down 80%. I'm a little worried about the volume on this. And this is a 1-hour chart. We've got some horizontal lines. It means nobody's trading it. So I probably wouldn't seriously consider it for that reason, but since I have the chart open, we'll go ahead and see it through. It's had a pretty good move since the 22nd, up 34%, but drifting down now. We got higher highs until this this drop. 5-minute chart. Sort of dipping, but I'd rather see the Bollinger Band blow up some more. If we're counting this as a dip, don't really have a clear-cut squeeze yet. This squeezes slightly from this. I don't think this really qualifies as a dip sequence in the classic sense. But if you want to treat it that way, I guess our first dip's here. 1, 2, don't have a third one yet. Got a little bit of support, pretty close to where it is now at 90 cents. Maybe look to catch it down here around 89.5. Then look, reevaluate for a dip trade. Never seen an MFI move like this. I don't know if there's something unusual about this token, but so on our 15-minute chart, see how divergence is done. Shorting has been good, obviously, but the long moves have done pretty well too. I mean, that one went up 3%, 7 hours. That's pretty good. Yeah, this one did quite a bit better. Down at first, then up, 12%. I like that. Yeah, almost 4% on that move. So divergence has worked pretty well in both directions on this one, on the 15-minute chart. And then we're already at the MFI, trending back up. It just broke through, the 20. And you've got bullish divergence on the MACD, about an hour ago. This one has potential to get in a trade. Not financial advice, but if you're looking for a trade, this might be a good one. Setup's pretty good. I'd probably wait for that third dip on the 5-minute chart, and then evidence of a trend coming back up. So maybe one more dip below the Bollinger Band, and then a green candle, and that one has potential. Okay, under our trend trading options. Oh, there's Binance. Currently in the sell, the buy signals. Yeah, like 1.5%, not bad. That one was no good. That one was no good. This one was really good. So the buy signals on the chandelier have been so-so. The sells have worked out pretty well. This one went against us. Probably ladder buy up here and then have a really good trade going back down on this one. All right, any questions on IMX, on the trend trade or the dip trade? Well, we're at about 35, 40 minutes, which is about how long we usually do this one. Any questions, comments, or issues on the market in general?
Let's let Bitcoin go up, huh?
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a.
It would be. Squeeze
Have
it
a-
long enough.
Indeed, let's get above that 20K and, go to 30, 40, 50, 60.
Right on.
Okay, Oliver's asking in the chat if you use the open, high, low, close bar on your charts. Terry from Zanalytics says it's his favorite. Not quite sure what that is. It sounds vaguely familiar to me. So if I have used it, it hasn't been recent, but Terry is a master chartist. If you guys don't subscribe to Zanalytics, it's probably in your best interest to do so. I look at his stuff pretty much every day. So, and Damien's pushing for 100K Bitcoin. I'd take like 40 or 50 at this point, but 100 in the future. Yeah, it sounds good to me. And Oliver's commenting that Terry's got a great newsletter. So yeah, Terry Oliver's Analytics is good stuff. So shout out to you, Terry, in case you're watching. All right, I think I'll wrap it up here for the Altcoin Alert webinar. For those of you watching on the recording, thanks for that. Please check out the opportunities available in the comments below. And if you're in Carbon, please stick around. We'll start that Zoom in a couple of minutes. Have a good weekend.